Open your eyes. Open your eyes. Wake up, Link.
Hey everybody, TrinfiniteX here. Welcome to my 100% run of Breath of the Wild. This is a casual playthrough, not a speedrun. However, I intend to keep up an efficient pace moving from objective to objective, as is my playstyle. I will make detours as I see fit, however I want this playthrough to be an enjoyable watch as much as an enjoyable experience. I am streaming this playthrough live on Twitch in segments, so if you want to hang out and make some new friends while I work on this, feel free to join in. I typically stream 3 times a week, around 7 p.m. Mountain Time. Link in the description.
That is a Sheikah slate. Take it. It will help guide you after your long slumber. Hold the Sheikah slate up to the pedestal. That will show you the way. Link, you are the light. Our light. That must shine upon Hyrule once again. Now go.
As we get started here, I would like to clarify two things. First, that this playthrough is not intended as a guide for new players. Though it will contain enough information to act as a guide, it is not meant to be. Second, what I consider to be 100% completion. The game considers 100% to mean all divine beasts, all shrines, map completion, and all 900 Korok seeds. Side quests, main quests, shrine quests, none of that actually counts towards 100% for some reason. I will be doing all of the main quest objectives, even though they are not required. This includes all the DLC content. So the Master Trials and the Final Divine Beast and its associated trials. I will not likely be doing all of the side quests, as I find many of them unrewarding, though I will still be doing some of them, the ones I believe are rewarding. I am getting all shrines, of course, but not necessarily all shrine quests, as it just amounts to extra dialogue. Again, I would like to point out that I am streaming this live, so I might drop a few frames to Twitch being Twitch, or start talking to my chat as I am playing. I will also be using some amiibos for this. Again, this is a casual playthrough. Anyway, without further delay, let's get into the game. Here we will get our first Korok seed. On our way to the first tower. We are playing this on Master Mode.
Link. Head for the point marked on the map in your Sheikah slate.
I'm gonna go ahead and get some better pants. And then just get away from these guys. So, as you can probably tell already, I am not very shy about exploiting glitches like the infinite run glitch here that I'm using. Again, I'm not a speedrunner, but I do intend for this to be, you know, an efficient playthrough without too much wandering around. This is probably one of my favorite cutscenes, by the way. So yeah, even though this is a casual playthrough, I will be using the infinite run glitch, also Majora's Mask when I get it, just to speed things along. That's just my play style. Not here to mess around. Here to get things done. Though we will inevitably end up messing around a little here and there.
Try to remember. You have been asleep for the past 100 years. The beast. When the beast regains its true power, this world will face its end.
Nice dislocated jaw there, Ganon. More like a snake than a pig.
You must hurry, Link. Before it's too late.
And by hurry, she kind of means take your time, because there's no actual time limit. Unlike, say, Majora's Mask or something. So we shall descend the tower with haste. The old man shall appear out of nowhere, flying in on his paraglider. The beginning of this game is pretty slow. But it picks up soon enough. We don't need that. Right. Gonna dive on in, catch a few fish. Hi there, Aurora. How's it going? Just got started here, making our way to the first shrine. It's fine. Glad you're here. Aw, I'm sorry you missed the chance. Alright. A Cortana-like voice for the Sheikah slate. Yeah. Yeah, that'd be interesting. Like, I mean, it is really just like a Sheikah tablet slash cell phone, so it would make sense for it to have some kind of AI in it. Yeah, then you'd actually have a companion. Although, quite frankly, I feel like that should have been Zelda, personally. It's just my feelings on that. Like, I mean, she is able to speak to you telepathically anyway. So, why not? So we'll just march on through here. And see if we can... Oh. Oh, no, too much. Come on. Trying to get this guy to fall in the water if possible. Or we could just kill him like this, I guess. That works. Pushing those guys into the water is usually the better way to deal with them, but you can also just whack them on the head. They're pretty weak. Ah, fail. Failed with the bridge. Oh well. Well, I did say I wasn't a speedrunner, so... Alright. So these four monks, if you'll notice their hands, they make the Triforce symbol. I can skip all this text and dialogue, but I'm going to let it play through one time. Just in case there's anybody new watching, I don't want to just like skip all the cutscenes. Man, sure wish they'd teach us how to speak telepathically with people. I mean, Zelda knows how to do it. They know how to do it. Yeah, I do kind of miss the magic meter a little bit in this game. Not gonna lie, I feel like that's an opportunity missed by Nintendo with this game. This is a really good game, but it's definitely got a few minor problems and a lot of missed opportunities still in it. So we could just warp straight to the tower. We're not going to do that just yet. First, there is a perfectly good treasure chest that just so happens to be right here. There's basically no reason not to get it. There's also another one. And then we're going to go ahead and take this over here to get the treasure chests that are up on this platform right there, that just spawned in magically right before our eyes. Who says this game doesn't have magic in it? Okay, so we want to grab it like this and line it up like so. Make a little bridge here for us over this mire that will definitely eat us up if we don't do it just so. These fire arrows will actually come in handy later. That is why I am stopping to get them. We're going to run over and grab this Korok seed real quick. Before leaving the Great Plateau, I want to make sure to clear it out completely. Let's go ahead and just grab this one real quick as well. Oop. Come on. These ball and chain ones are actually really annoying. Alright. So we're not done yet. There's a few more Korok seeds really close by. And so we're going to go ahead and just grab them all real quick. Since they are so close. Yes, okay. I'm actually going to try and avoid battles for the most part in this run, as they are not required for completion. Though I may stop to fight some higher tier enemies later. Ooh. Almost got that lizard anyway. All right. So, pretty obvious rock up here on top of a hill. Here, you can have your rock back. There are some more Korok seeds around, however, we cannot get them just yet. Like there's one right here, but we can't actually get it yet because we need bombs, I believe, to get it. Which is what we're going to get next. So we will come back probably after collecting the paraglider to get that Korok seed. For now, we will ignore the fact that the old man somehow made it up the tower this quickly. And just head on down. Alright, so over here, there is a guardian. However, since I don't have a shield, I have every intention of simply going around it. This is by far the easiest way into this shrine here. Just to go around the backside. And while we're here, we can actually pick up a real weapon that the game practically hands us for free. And also, Korok seed. Underneath a core rock. Here, have your rock back. I always love to do that. Whenever a Korok is underneath a rock, I give them their rock back. Exactly. It is. It's only polite. So now we get the liquid information for bombs. I will say the bomb system in this game is definitely an improvement over pretty much all past Zelda games. Like, where you always had to worry about how many bombs you had left and all that. This really is truly an improvement to just have basically infinite bombs just on a timer in between usage. It's just so much more convenient. Finally got that trick. All right. Alright, so these treasure chests inside the shrines, they're not at all necessary, but we do need a fair amount of money where we're going. And this guy is, I believe, the Triforce of Wisdom here. It's the one on the bottom left, I believe, is Wisdom. Or is it Courage? Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure that's Wisdom. Alright, so at this point, because this is master mode, there is a silver Lionel guarding this area right here that I don't want anything to do with. So, we are actually going to head back to the Shrine of Resurrection. As it is somewhat risky to try and run past that Lionel. And take a slightly different route to the Stasis Shrine. But first... is that here yet? That's not here yet. I wonder when that Korok seed spawns in. I've known for a long time that there's a Korok seed right there in the shrine, but I wonder, when does it spawn in? After we get the paraglider, probably? Oh yes, and I almost forgot. Another thing we're going to need a fair amount of. Apples. For an upcoming trick, quote unquote. So, as stated earlier... oh, after all 4 required shrines? Okay. So as stated earlier, I am not necessarily going to be doing like all side quests and everything, as that is not required for 100%, and a lot of the side quests I don't find rewarding. One of those side quests is the Hyrule Compendium. I have no real intention of spending a ton of time grinding to get that done. So unless my chat desires me to go back and do it, I probably won't do it. You can buy pretty much like over 90% of the compendium without having to actually collect most of the pictures yourself, which is really nice. I like that Nintendo did that. They realized how much of a chore it was to get the compendium done. But even still, you have to grind a lot of money. So it's still kind of rough. And since this playthrough is, you know, I don't want this playthrough to have too many long, boring moments like that. I'm just probably not going to do it unless there's just a lot of outcry for me to actually do total completion, which I'd be willing to do if people want to see it, but that's just a lot more grinding for money. So I probably, yeah, I have no desire to do it. So this liquid information gave us the rune for stasis, the not at all broken ability to just freeze time for an object. I'm gonna pick up our first shield here. And we're gonna grab ourselves a hammer. Now this guy has the upside down pyramid in the middle of the Triforce. So it's the hole in the middle. Baseball? No, I think it was more like golf. All right, so from here, There's a small ledge right here with an additional iron sledgehammer that we can just go ahead and pick up, because why not? And it gives us a place to rest on our way up. And now we are going to proceed as quickly as we can to the top of Mount Hylia, so we can meet up with the old man and get his warm doublet. We don't need these acorns to eat them all. Just get a free amber from that rock. Talk to the old man. Oh yeah, that thing I totally did earlier. He would have mentioned this on the tower if we'd talked to him there, but since I just ran away from him, we now have to listen to this dialogue over here. Alright, so now there are a couple Korok seeds around here, but for right now we're just gonna get this one. No, actually we might go ahead and just get some of these other ones. Where was the rock for this one? Oh, here it is. I passed it. So these are another common type of Korok puzzle here. This one was easy enough, but man, later they get really annoying. Multiple rocks hidden in various locations. Alright. So where was it? Now that we have the warm doublet, we don't have to worry about the weather too much. So right around here somewhere. Here we go. This little ledge should lead us to some goodies. saving as much durability on our, here's your rock back, iron sledgehammer as possible. Weapon durability is really annoying. Like, I get that it's realistic, but that doesn't make it any less annoying. 2 feet away, another rock. Here's your rock back. So, now we can move on to the final of the shrines. And let's not waste any time getting there. Shield surfing is kind of a fun mechanic in this game, like really, but it's only useful if you're going downhill on a relatively gentle slope. Otherwise you'll get hurt, like if you fall too far a distance, so it's only so useful. I personally find myself not using this mechanic very often, but it is there. And it is kind of fun. Yeah, it does also weaken your shield's durability. But this game throws weapons and shields and things at you like candy. So really, that's less of a concern. Still though, it's fun to do once in a while. It's also a little bit hard to control too. Shield surfing is definitely fast, but not necessarily the preferred way of getting around, despite how much fun it can be. Alright. So now for our final rune. At least for now. This one making lots of sense, since it's coming from, since it's making ice. It's coming from the liquid information source that is the Sheikah guidance stones. We're just not gonna deal with that. Just chain attack him down, since we have an extra sledgehammer anyway. This is not a particularly good spear, but I do want a spear on hand, just in case. So now the old man flies in from nowhere. Like, definitely nowhere. Or from outside the Great Plateau, which is not fair. Yeah, that last monk was Courage. Alright, so there are some more Korok seeds nearby this shrine. However, we are going to forego them momentarily as we get the paraglider. Because the paraglider... Oh yeah, the old man. He does pop up in the Smash Brothers stage out of nowhere. I forgot about that. But yeah, so the paraglider is going to make getting the remaining Korok seeds here on the Great Plateau much easier. So we're just going to be doing that. We're going to get those after we grab ourselves a paraglider. And on the way, why not grab a few ancient parts? I am Link, breaker of pots. Just go ahead and collect those arrows. Yes, listen closely. Can you hear it? The shattering of pottery. Oh yeah, also the nice remix here. Stamina. This game does have some pretty good music in it. This particular theme is especially good in my opinion, but sadly we only get to hear it here. In this particular venue. Such a beautiful piece. Wish I could hear it more often, you know?
Well done there, young one. The time has come to show you who I truly am. I was King Rhombos Faramus Hyrule. I was the last leader of Hyrule. A kingdom which no longer exists. The Great Calamity was merciless. It devastated everything in its path, lo, a century ago. It was then that my life was taken away from me. And since that time, here I have remained in spirit form. I did not think it wise to overwhelm you while your memory was still fragile. So rather than that, I thought it best to assume a temporary form. Forgive me. I think you are now ready. Ready to hear what happened 100 years ago. To know Calamity Ganon's true form, one must know the story from an age-long past. The Demon King was born into this kingdom, but his transformation into malice created the horror you see now. Stories of Ganon were passed from generation to generation in the form of legends and fairy tales. But there was also a prophecy. The signs of a resurrection of Calamity Ganon are clear, and the power to oppose it lies dormant beneath the ground. We decided to heed the prophecy and began excavating large areas of land. It wasn't long before we discovered several ancient relics made by the hands of our distant ancestors. These relics, the divine beasts, were giant machines piloted by warriors. We also found the Guardians, an army of mechanical soldiers who fought autonomously. This coincided with ancient legends, oft repeated throughout our land. We also learned of a princess with a sacred power, and her appointed knight, chosen by the sword that seals the darkness. It was they who sealed Ganon away using the power of these ancient relics. 100 years ago, there was a princess set to inherit a sacred power, and a skilled knight at her side. It was clear that we must follow our ancestors' path. We selected 4 skilled individuals from across Hyrule and tasked them with the duty of piloting the divine beasts. With the princess as their commander, we dubbed these pilots champions, a name that would solidify their unique bond. The princess, her appointed knight, and the rest of the champions were on the brink of sealing away Ganon. But nay. Ganon was cunning, and he responded with a plan beyond our imagining. He appeared from deep below Hyrule Castle, seized control of the Guardians and the divine beasts, and turned them against us. The champions lost their lives, those residing in the castle as well. The appointed knight, bravely wounded, collapsed while defending the princess. And thus, the kingdom of Hyrule was devastated absolutely by Calamity Ganon. However, the princess survived to face Ganon alone.
Link, you are our final hope. The fate of Hyrule rests with you.
That princess was my own daughter, my dear Zelda. And the courageous knight who protected her right up to the very end. That night was none other than you, Link. You fought valiantly when your fate took an unfortunate turn. And then, you were taken to the Shrine of Resurrection. Here you now stand, revitalized 100 years later. The words of guidance you have been hearing since your awakening are from Princess Zelda herself. Even now, as she works to restrain Ganon from within Hyrule Castle, she calls out for your help. However, my daughter's power will soon be exhausted. Once that happens, Ganon will freely regenerate himself, and nothing will stop him from consuming our land. Considering that I could not save my own kingdom, I have no right to ask this of you, Link. But I am powerless here. You must save her, my daughter, and do whatever it takes to annihilate Ganon. Somehow, Ganon has maintained control over all 4 divine beasts, as well as those guardians swarming around Hyrule Castle. I believe it would be quite reckless for you to head directly to the castle at this point. I suggest that you make your way east out to one of the villages in the wilderness. Follow the road out to Kakariko Village. There you will find the Elder Impa. She will tell you more about the path that lies ahead. Consult the map on your Sheikah slate for the precise location of Kakariko Village. Make your way past the twin summits of the dueling peaks. From there, follow the road as it proceeds north.
Okay. So with that enormous information dump, we finally have our paraglider. Alright. And if the game would cooperate here. Alright. Yeah, you got the thing. Yep. Alright, so before we leave the Great Plateau, however, we need to wrap up all the Korok seeds on it. And do some last-minute cooking and cleaning up of this area. So first, we shall grab this. And then, we will warp back to the Shrine of Resurrection. Whoa, just noticed a big chunk of lag there for a second. But it looks like we're back. Still not here. So we have the paraglider. But that one Korok seed's still not there yet. Huh. Maybe we have to leave the Great Plateau first. I really want to know when that thing spawns in. First, let's go ahead and take care of a couple things. Starting with this one Korok seed. Whoops. A little too close. Here's your rock back. And now we will heal up from our folly. Ah, here we go, food. Alright. And then, yes, Aurora talus hunt. We'll grab these free arrows. And then, one of the things that we need to do before we leave is take down the talus that's up here. Let's go ahead and save here. Before we fight the talus, and there we go. So if you have the iron sledgehammer, this particular talus goes down real easy. Not even remotely a challenge. But he provides lots of low-level gems that we will be using for money later on. So, next up, we still have a few more Korok seeds to collect. Starting with this one right here. Actually, hold up. Let's not do that one just yet. I want to be sure I have enough ammo. First of all, let's get rid of you. And get a better bow for doing it. Cool. I'm all for that. So, this log right here We have to somehow get under this bridge. To get that one Korok seed that's right there. I'm pretty sure there's a couple ways to do it, but I don't know. I don't recall exactly how to do it, so we're gonna go ahead and save right here before I potentially try something stupid. Okay, so right there. I think that'll work. Yes, it does. Cool. All right. So now we're going to travel over back here again to make things move a little faster. Because from up here we can get across this river easier and up this mountain slightly faster, so gonna run around this camp here, and then right here find another very common Korok puzzle, these little block puzzles. And then before we go, however, not quite done yet. There are some enemies down below us. I'm going to collect a few apples here for later. And then we're just going to drop in and steal these guys' fire arrows real quick. And then we're going to warp back here again. All right, so I went down here earlier and then changed my mind because I wanted to make sure that I had enough fire arrows for this. You can melt this ice with just a campfire, but it's a bit slower. And I forgot how many fire arrows it would actually take to melt this. Apparently the answer's 4, so I didn't need to do all that. But it's not a huge waste of time. So now we're going to go over here, back to the Stasis Shrine. To do some very important preparations. So over here on top of the old man's house that we didn't get to see earlier, there's a Korok seed. So we'll just grab that real quick. But more importantly, we're going to be getting stamina shrooms here, and lots of them. We're going to need lots and lots of stamina shrooms for something else that we're going to be doing later. This pitchfork has more attack power than our actual spear. So, when I first played this game, I actually tried to climb up to the Stasis Shrine by climbing literally up that hill right there. That is a really annoying climb. Okay, so let's go ahead and light ourselves a fire here and get to cooking some things. Some of these I am making just as just in case preparatory kind of items. But these these endurance items we will definitely 100% need for what I have in store. So, with that much done, it's just one small thing left to do. Somehow that did not wake them up. That's amazing. They are the soundest sleepers ever. Well, we're just going to raid this little treasure trove over here. Snatch up these free bomb arrows. And then we're going to head back over here one last time. For one last Korok seed over here, and then we will finally be off the plateau. So, over in this direction, I believe, pretty sure there was another Korok seed around here. Oh shoot, where was it? Just get rid of these guys. And then, and you too, apparently. Where was that last Korok seed? Ah, here we go. Here we go. So I've only recently become familiar with this particular one. I honestly didn't even know this was here for the longest time. So I knew it was right around here somewhere. All right. So now we are finally going to get off of the plateau. There's only one Korok seed that we're missing from the Great Plateau, and it's the one inside the Shrine of Resurrection that apparently doesn't spawn until you leave. So we'll come back to get that in just a second, but first, off we go into Hyrule Kingdom. Alright, so our very first stop is absolutely Majora's Mask. I said it earlier, we are going to be abusing this to avoid fights, because fights in this game are mostly unnecessary. Not completely, just mostly. So we will avoid what fights we can. Just grab this Korok seed real quick. But we're not quite done right here yet. First, we have some more talus hunting to do. And I just fly off into space here. I can't see. Oh my gosh. And into the water again. All right. So this is why I wanted the second iron sledgehammer. 'Cause I had a feeling there was a chance it might turn out like this. Somehow he shrug us off really quick. Finally. Jeez. Okay. So, it took me a few tries to take him down. Normally he doesn't give me any trouble, but today he decided to be pesky. The difficulty balance in this game is not all that phenomenal, in that a lot of the early game fights are really hard because you die in one hit. I mean, master mode or not, really. But then later on, once you get enough hearts and defense from your clothing, all the fights become a joke. So that talus normally doesn't give me any trouble, but today he decided to give me a lot of trouble. So, leaving the Great Plateau from here, from the bomb shrine, we get this little Korok seed, hiding in plain sight. Here's your rock back. And now I would like to see that Korok seed should have spawned in by now. Is he here? He is here, aha! So I think it has something to do, I think it has to do with when you set foot in Hyrule Kingdom. That's when I think he spawns in. Alright. So we are finally done with the Great Plateau. We will not be coming back here again, probably. Until toward the end of the game. So, we're going to start off by raiding these guys. Getting ourselves a knight's broadsword there. And then we're going to immediately turn in this direction and start collecting a few more Korok seeds on the way. Yep, not until we get all the way to the Champion's Ballad, we're not gonna be seeing the Great Plateau again. So here in the early parts of the game, it is actually important to focus on getting as many Korok seeds as you can. It then proceeds to become far less important for a while, and then far more important again after that, especially for a 100% run, of course. So, but here in the early parts of the game, it's really good to just collect as many as you can. From easy flower puzzles like this that are frequently reused by the game developers. And then from here go ahead and climb up to get yet another Korok seed up here on Scout's Hill. Our map is still grayed out, so you won't be able to see much on the map at the moment. Here's your rock back. And And now we will simply go this way. Collect this Korok seed. His rock was bigger than the other guys. We had to roll it. It was so big we had to roll it into a giant hole. Oh. Before we grab that obvious shrine right there. We'll make this hole-in-one right here for another Korok seed. And then deal with this shrine. So there are a lot of throw the ball or the rock into the hole puzzles in this game, which really makes me think that the Sheikah and the Koroks and the game developers for sure must have really liked golf. There we go. So this particular Sheikah, like with his hand on his forehead, I don't know. Maybe he had a headache when he got put in stasis. Maybe he was just bored or sleepy. I don't know. May the goddess smile upon you. Alright, so before moving on, map location, East Post Ruins. Map locations do count for 100%. Okay. So this is something that I would love to address. This is a huge problem in this game, rain. But not just rain. Rain when it says there shouldn't be any. In the bottom right, I'm staring at what should be sunny weather. It's supposed to be sunny weather, yet there is rain. And the rain makes it tough to climb. What the heck, Nintendo? Why? Why would you do this? It says sunny weather on my thing, and yet rain. So I've noticed that tends to happen roundabout transition time, like when the weather would transition from one to the other. Like it seems to just assume that there should be rain or something. Like every time the weather would change. Like it's supposed to be nothing but sunny coming up, but like every time it transitions from one sun to another sun, it starts raining. Like the game just assumes that it needs to take a moment to hinder the player with bad weather. Like, oh, we haven't, been annoying enough lately. Let's go ahead and fix that. So I don't know why the developers decided to do that, but there it is. Since we're right here, we'll go ahead and grab whatever's in here. A better iron sledgehammer. I'm down for that. So, let's go ahead and get rid of this. For a way better iron sledgehammer, and then let's make sure to collect as much extra stamina as we can. And then underneath this bridge, obvious Korok rock is obvious. Almost forgot to give you your rock back. Come on, get up there. Pardon me while I steal your treasure. A better shield! Cool, so when this one wears out from shield surfing, I can just replace it. And a free opal. Hey guys, don't mind me, just passing through. Alright, so from here, there's a whole bunch of Korok seeds. There are 58 Korok seeds in the Dueling Peaks region. We're gonna get some of them now, but we're not gonna get them all right now. We're gonna start with this one. A follow the flower puzzle. Dodge the boulder. Collect these blue nightshades wherever we can. And then go ahead and collect this also obvious Korok seed over here. Whenever you see 3 trees lined up like this, we all know what that means. So, especially because this one has apples. and I want to collect a certain number of those. Wow. Whoa. That was a jump. Means there's a little puzzle here where we have to remove all but the correct apple from the tree to make all the trees look the same. I forget, is this a Korok seed under here? Oh, no, it's a treasure chest. Okay. Well, we'll take the opal. And the bass. This is, however, a Korok seed puzzle. A little more golf. Sort of. That one was so easy we didn't even need to use our club for it. So we'll just take that. And then... climbing up here, where this random mighty thistle is growing. We will come down here and spot this cave, which will lead us to yet another Korok seed. And not just that, but also, here's your rock back, a gold stone here. These golden ore rocks are full of precious stones, and we will definitely be running around mining those occasionally. Moving along, there is another Korok puzzle up here. Let's make sure we're not using our fire arrows for this. This one can be a bit pesky. But with patience, there we go. Okay. These patterns are a little long, but if we wait patiently, we know these balloons will be in certain positions. We should be able to get them pretty easy. Really? Why is my aim shaky? Oh, it's because the motion aiming is on. That's why. Well, let's fix that. Aim with motion controls off. Oh my goodness. Definitely. I wondered why my aim was so shaky. Okay. So now we know a balloon will have to pass right through there. going to be that one coming in right there. And that's one. Oh my gosh. What a janky pattern. Right there. So these balloons are on some very long and very irregular patterns. I think these are my least favorite. These arrow puzzles. Some of them are really obnoxious. So with that annoying puzzle out of the way, we have another Korok flower chase. For some reason, Link has no problem swimming with an iron sledgehammer. I mean, you would think that would cause him to sink to the bottom of the river, and then he could just like walk on it or something. I mean, imagine how novel that would be. Walking on the bottom of the water. Walking underwater? Yeah, how crazy good would that be? Hint, hint. Yeah, no Zora tunic and no iron boots was kind of a letdown. Again, you know, it's just a missed opportunity for this game that I feel like wouldn't have even been that hard to put in. All right, so now we finally have our second tower. Ah, the Sheikah sensor. The thing that we will pretty much never use. We're just gonna turn this thing off right away. You know, wait, like, earlier we were talking about the Sheikah slate having, like, Cortana or something. So was that, like, the voice of the Sheikah stone here just now? Like, nope. So apparently some Sheikah technology has, you know, an automated avatar. Hi, guy. Bye, guy. Huh. Maybe the Sheikah slate has a rune for a little AI in it. I mean, heck, if the Master Sword can have Phi. But then again, maybe we wouldn't want a companion if it had to be that. I don't know. I never did play Skyward Shores myself. Don't, yeah. I won't. All right. So now, we return to the obsession of moving balls into holes by some means or another. The Sheikah obsession with golf. The marvelous game that they invented and all its variations. Watch the movie for Skyward Sword instead? Yeah, I have. Oh, there's a ladder from right there. I did not know that. I was looking for treasure. Alright, so now we have the climbing gear, the climbing bandana, a piece of the climbing gear. It is occasionally useful, but since it's right here, we're not going to be upgrading it or anything. Another traveler's bow. I kinda wish you could sell weapons in this game. So you can take all these excess weapons you don't need and just put them to use somehow. But sadly that is not a feature. in this game. To go ahead and grab this throwing spear. Oops, maybe I'm not going to grab this throwing spear. Yeah, just kidding. We'll drop you for it. No, actually, no, we won't. We'll drop you for it. No need to bother with ore that isn't gold most of the time. And as we round the bend, and that would be why, just only flint, we see another shrine. This one has spikes all around it, and let's just fly over it. The Ha-Da-Hamar Shrine. Best named shrine in the game. I mean, Dahamar. It's a pretty epic name, I think. All right. Got it, just in time. I was worried that wasn't going to work out. So anyway, this game of giant golf complete. Or mini golf, well, more like it. We'll go ahead and snag this shrine. And now suddenly all the spikes are gone. And it's early in the morning. Alright. So. Oh, thank you, lady.
Hey.
Alright, so having reached the stable here, I am going to switch over to intermission for just a minute. Just going to take a short break to stretch, get some water, and then I will be right back, and we'll keep going for about another half hour at most before calling the stream for tonight. See you guys in just a bit. Alright, and we're back. So, at this point, I'm not going to waste any time. Come on now. There we go. We're just gonna go ahead and get Epona right away. Best horse in the game, hands down. Not really any point in bothering to capture another horse. Hey. Yeah, most people haven't seen that face before. Yes I do. So, let's register our new horse. Yeah. You know, this one with nearly perfect stats. Sure. Isn't that Epona, the horse of legend? What are you thinking? You can't rename a horse of legend. Pretty sure there's a law against that. So Epona it is. Sure. I love how he recognizes that it's the horse of legend. Alright, but before we take off on Epona, first of all, where'd he go? There he is. Beetle, come back!
Yeah.
So, I'm sure they have some kind of socially enforced law enforcement. Anyway, maybe the nearby towns enforce the laws? Who knows? Look at what I've got. So every computer in this game has infinite money, more or less.
Wow.
So we are definitely going to need all of this money in just a minute here.
Wow.
So no reason not to sell all of this, honestly. I am going to keep the topazes, though, as I will need them for upgrading a particular suit of armor later.
Yay.
In the meantime, however, I would say we've made a decent sum. Epona comes running. Oh, because of the glitch. And then we turn this way. And now we can start heading off towards the Sheikah village. Run over a bird along the way, just because we can. So, on the way there, we have this little puzzle here. I like to solve it like this just because it's a lot easier to deal with. Well, let's see if we can get that rock to not fall in such an unfortunate location. And then, from here, it's easy to just stick it in there. No problem. Thank you to Aurora for helping me to realize the simple solution to that a while back. Yeah, Sheikah culture is pretty cool. Sheikah history. It's definitely fascinating. Man, look at Link just mount Epona just from behind like that, like a champ. That's actually really, really hard to do in real life. Gotta be able to jump pretty good. You definitely don't want to mess up. All right. So, here we are at Hetsu. This guy deals in Korok seeds. He's a pretty shady fellow, I think. But first, we gotta get his maracas back. Seedy character, yes, yes. Well done. So these clowns are way easier to beat than they look like they will be. They're all level 3 enemies, so they look like they should be pretty tough, but actually, if you get them into the right spot here, you can just throw them all off the edge, and that's that. There we go. Okay, so for a second there I thought like maybe one of them landed somewhere. Just took a while for the game to register. Yep, they're actually all gone. Didn't mean to take a hit there, but that's fine. So, Now we can finally start getting some inventory upgrades. They're not invisible this time, I noticed. In a previous attempt, like the maracas were actually invisible. So I wonder why they're not invisible this time. Huh. It's quite the glitch. But anyway. Alright. We don't need to see the dance every time, but so basically we get inventory expansions from him in exchange for Korok seeds. We don't get too many the first time we meet him, but we'll meet him again along the road. And then eventually, we'll catch up to him in the Lost Woods, where he will give us as many expansions as we can handle, and then some, because for some reason the developers thought it'd be cool to put in 900 Korok seeds when you only need about 450-ish. Speaking of Korok seeds. Actually, hold up. Might as well grab these since we're right there in front since they're right there in front of us. And then we will proceed onward. Until we arrive in Kakariko Village. Man, for a woman who's twisted her ankle, you sure got up pretty fast. With the amount of mushrooms Link eats, you sure this isn't some sort of really bad dream or hallucination? I mean, you know what? Mario does it, and he's fine.
Yeah.
Wow, frame rate there for a second. I mean, if Mario can just eat all those mushrooms, then yeah, surely Link can too. Ooh, we actually are short a few. Yeah, yet he wanders into the wrong castle every time. Yeah, touche. We need a little more money. That actually shouldn't be too hard. There's something we can do to fix that. Something really simple we can do to fix that, actually. Oh, does she not offer the quest at this point? Ooh, maybe she doesn't offer that. Yeah, maybe she doesn't offer that until after we've seen Impa. Okay. Well, fine then. First, we'll go ahead and grab this obvious Korok seed. This is a common puzzle. Little toad statues here. So everyone here knows, apparently, what the Sheikah slate symbolizes. But before we go visit Lady Impa in her house, let's take a look under her house. Grab a hold of all these sweet, juicy mushrooms here, so we can hallucinate that we have more stamina than we actually have. And then we'll talk to this girl. Oh my, a man! Well, someone's been locked inside too long. Teasing her is pretty funny, but it takes up time.
Oh, you're finally awake. It has been quite a long time, Link. I am much older now, but you remember me, don't you?
Now here's some pretty good music too. Those eyes indeed. For some reason, they decided to give her voice lines for only a few seconds. Not sure I understand why they did that, but fine.
The history of the royal family of Hyrule is also the history of Calamity Ganon, a primal evil that has endured over the ages. This evil has been turned back time and time again by a warrior wielding the soul of a hero and a princess who carries the blood of the goddess. With the passage of time, each conflict with Ganon faded into legend. So listen closely as I tell you of this legend that occurred 10,000 years ago. Hyrule was then blossoming as a highly advanced civilization. Even the most powerful monsters posed little threat to the denizens of the realm. The people thought it wise to utilize their technological prowess to ensure the safety of the land should Calamity Ganon ever return. They constructed 4 mechanical wonders that came to be known as the Divine Beasts. They also built a legion of autonomous weapons called Guardians. The Divine Beasts were piloted by 4 individuals of exceptional skill from across the land. And thus, the plan to neutralize Ganon was forged. Upon Ganon's inevitable return to Hyrule, the princess and the hero fought alongside these 4 champions against this ancient evil. The Guardians were tasked with protecting the hero as the Divine Beasts unleashed a furious attack upon their terrible foe. And when the hero wielding the sword that seals the darkness delivered his final blow, the princess used her sacred power to seal away Calamity Ganon. Oh. Oh. Oh.
Okay. So again, with the music in this scene being, I think, perfect for the atmosphere they were trying to generate here.
Oh.
But while it's still fresh, I would like to go ahead and mention that I am a little disappointed in certain elements of this story. Particularly, the way they refer to Ganondorf as nothing but a calamity, when in previous installments, he had a personality. Like, I get that this is more similar to the way it used to be back in the old 2D Zelda days, but that's not necessarily a good thing in this particular instance. They sort of turned Ganon into less of a person and more of just an event that happens. I feel like that was a missed opportunity for sure. Alright. Anyway, so we need to sell some stuff to get the last piece of the Sheikah gear. Haven't forgotten about that. Or we could get some money from other sources. Whoop. Well, that one's just too hard to get. Fine. Alright. So, first of all, Let's go ahead and grab this shrine real quick. After all our adventuring so far, the game finally decides, you know what? Maybe we should teach the player about the basics of combat. And so here we are in the teaching shrine. We do get free weapons and free gear and stuff, so might as well take advantage of it. So we'll just run through this tutorial real quick. Whoops, wrong button. You actually don't want to follow through with the full flurry rush because this particular guardian does not take any damage until you've completed the tutorial. It's actually invincible. So, one strike is enough. But then it dies right away once the tutorial's over. And we have our first guardian weapon. So there we have it. And with this, we will finally have 4 more spirit orbs so we can get even more stamina. Thank goodness. Alright, but before we go back, right up here, we're going to see something interesting, I hope. Is it here? Uh-oh. Well, looks like there isn't a bloopy here, right? Oh, there it is. Let's wear what pieces of the stealth armor we do have. And switch to a spear. This is actually extremely important that we use a spear. Because the spear is faster, we can get in multiple hits and get a lot more rupees out of the deal. And thankfully, it looks like all the fairies are low to the ground. So this is a majorly important stop in our trip. The fairy fountain, our very first fairy fountain. Because now we won't just die immediately if we get hit by a light breeze. Now it will take several potent gusts to defeat us. We still don't have quite enough hearts to really be all that strong yet. So just stocking up on stuff that we will need later, especially the Endura carrots and the fairies, the most important part. Weird as ever. In every Zelda game, the Great Fairies are always weird. And these are no exception. We're not interested in enhancing just yet. But we will be back for that. Definitely. So, losing my mind here. Alright. Hello there, new viewer. We just unlocked our first fairy fountain. We're on our way back down to the village here. Go ahead and get some more stamina. As you can tell, we're pretty early in the game still. All right. So now that we have the Endura carrots, we need to do a little bit more cooking before we end off. So, having stamina is very important for what we have coming up. We're not going to be doing it today, but next time we are going to... One of the things we're going to be doing next time we do Breath of the Wild is definitely climbing up the Twin Peaks as quickly as possible, because the Twin Peaks shrines at the top provide some of the best warp points in the region for us to glide down to a ton of different places. And so we will need lots of stamina, both to climb up to them and also to glide down from them. In the early stages of the game, stamina while gliding is actually a bit of a concern in certain cases. So it's good to just have a bunch of extra stamina lying around. Oh gosh, that's actually more than we have. Didn't realize the bass would have that much. Alright. So there we are. And let me check on that side quest. Before we end off, I am going to get the last... Here we go.
Oh. Ma. Oh.
We are definitely going to get the last little bit of our Sheikah armor. And do some side quests here in town. I'm not sure if that's one of the side quests I have to do to unlock the shrine later, but getting it out of the way is still a good thing.
Ma. Oh.
Speaking of arrows, we will need some. However, we still are short some money for what we need. We have an opal we can get rid of. May as well. These would probably fix our problem right away, but I'm hesitant to sell them because we will need a bunch later on. These are actually pretty easy to get a hold of, so let's just empty out our collection of ancient materials for the moment. It's pretty small, so we're not missing that much. And with that, we are restocked on arrows a little bit. And we have enough to get the last piece of our Sheikah armor here. Since, you know, the shop is open all night. Why wouldn't it be? And now we are truly a ninja. And with that, we're actually just gonna head right up here. And we're gonna go ahead and call it a night. So, thank you all very much for watching. If you enjoyed my content, feel free to join me on Twitch, where your vote can decide what we play next. Or check out my past playthroughs and content on YouTube. Links will be down below, and I will see you guys next time.